the second video in the writing workshop, and this video is about hooking my audience's attention and bridging into my thesis statement. So you've already written your thesis statement. Now we're going to go back and see how we can grab their attention with a hook. So why have a hook in the first place? Well, it sets you apart. If you've got a hook and someone else doesn't, your essay is automatically more interesting from the get-go. It is the first thing your audience reads, and therefore it has to be important. What's that saying about first impressions? It sets the tone of your interesting essay. If you have an interesting hook, it sets off from the beginning, this is going to be an interesting essay. It encourages your reader to think or feel something before your essay. So if you want to essentially teach your audience something, you're making a claim and you want to back it up and you're teaching your audience, you might want them to think or feel something before to better help them learn. And it introduces your topic without actually introducing it. So let's have a look at a few examples. So we're going to do an essay with our thesis statement being through three central characters, Ralph, Jack, and Roger. William Golding presents the central message that evil is inherent in mankind. So I need to think about the book, Lord of the Flies, the book I'm going to be writing about. And these are the kind of parts, themes and links to the book that I could write a hook about. I'm not going to write a hook about something completely random. It's got a link to the essay. So I'm writing an essay about Lord of the Flies, written by William Golding, about the evil of man and human nature. William Golding fought in World War II, saw lots of violence. So maybe I could have a quote. So I could have a quote by William Golding, the author of Lord of the Flies, who once said, "Man produces evil as a bee produces honey." It links to the book, it links to my essay. It's also by William Golding himself. Also, can you please note how I've introduced the quote? It's not like how you would introduce evidence or quotes in the body of your essay. You need to be putting the author first and introduce like this. You're not citing evidence as you would in a body paragraph. It's a hook. If I were doing a timed essay and I didn't have access to go on the internet and find a really cool quote, and I didn't have one off the top of my head, perhaps I could even find one from the book. So I'm writing an essay, timed essay about Lord of the Flies, and I've chosen maybe there is a beast, maybe it's only us. This reflects human nature, violence, evil of man. So in his novel Lord of the Flies, William Golding shows his thoughts on human nature through writing, maybe there is a beast, maybe it's only us. I could look outside and pick someone else, so pick another famous person. You do want to pick famous, important people because your reader trusts them and looks up to them and respects them. So I've picked famous author of Heart of Darkness, Joseph Conrad, once wrote, "The belief in a supernatural source of evil is not necessary. Men alone are quite capable of every wickedness." Again, do you see how it links to my elements that I could write about in Lord of the Flies? The next type of hook is a shocking statistic. Well, casualties for the D-Day landings in World War II, a battle in which Lord of the Flies author William Golding fought, are estimated between 10,000 to 19,000 men. It's a shocking statistic. It relates to William Golding. It relates to World War II. It relates to violence. The violence of World War II is revealed through the shocking fact that 1.5 million children lost their lives in the Holocaust. This one's good because it's about children, which Lord of the Flies is about. It's about violence again, World War II, evil of man. The evils of mankind can be demonstrated through the fact that in 2017, the global burden of disease estimated that 400,000 people were intentionally murdered worldwide. Again, evil of mankind, violence. Next type of hook I could use is inciting thought or imagination. Again, making your reader think or feel something before they come to learn what your essay is about. So imagine storming the beaches of Normandy on D-Day, facing German machine guns from trenches on the hills as they shoot all of those fighting alongside of you. That was what happened to William Golding, the author of Lord of the Flies. So I'm making my reader think about the violence William Golding actually saw on D-Day landings. Picture yourself and your high school class stranded on a deserted island with no immediate hope of rescue and limited resources. How long would it be before things descended into savagery? This is the plot of William Golding's Lord of the Flies. Again, links to my things, and it makes the reader think or imagine something before going into the essay. They'll be more likely to understand things and relate it back to their own lives. I've got a cold, I'm sorry. You could do an insight or an observation. So, after people were exposed to the horrors of World War II, their opinion of human nature changed drastically. So that's your insight, your observation, or other people's observations that have been made. World War II is considered by many to be the most violent event in modern history. Whether or not humans are inherently good or evil is an age-old topic of debate. So these insights, these observations are all linked to my elements. So once you've got your hook, you've got your thesis statement, you need to bridge the gap. So casualties for the D-Day landings in World War II, a battle in which Lord of the Flies author William Golding fought, are estimated between 10 to 19,000 people. Through the three central characters, Ralph, Jack and Roger, William Golding presents the central message that evil is inherent in mankind. Okay, they're linked, but there's something missing. Well, where's this evil inherent in mankind? I don't know where that's come from. Who are Ralph, Jack and Roger? Not surprisingly, seeing this violence had a major impact on Golding, which made its way into his work, particularly Lord of the Flies, written just after the war. Okay, so we've got our hook about William Golding fighting in D-Day, seeing violence. Our bridge just saying that had an effect on him when he wrote Lord of the Flies. In Lord of the Flies, using his characters, he presents the evil of mankind, which has been seen in D-Day. Do you see how all of this is connected? If you do it in this logical step, write your thesis statement first, go back and do your hook, and then bridge the two together, the bridge mark starts to make sense. If you're going from point A to point B, this is just what you need in between to make sure that the journey is seamless. There you go. A perfect introduction. That was the second video of my writing workshop. Thanks for watching.